what's up guys? Today is one of the only warmest days. It's like 50 degrees, but had to be also one of the days that it rains. Wow. Anyways, so today's video is going to be more like a tutorial for meditation. And thanks to Ashley, one of the people who watch my channel, you kept reminding me again and again on Instagram until I just had to make this video. It's actually a video I probably should have made a long time ago, because it's a big part of my life. But every time I come across that thought, like, okay, I think it's time I should make a actual tutorial like meditation video, I talk myself out of it because I don't know that much about it. Meaning, like, I haven't dug into it a lot. I haven't tried vast amount of different types of meditation. It's one of the very few things that I went about in this way, meaning that in my personality, usually the things I'm doing, health, fitness, business, whatever it is, I tend to be on the side which likes to dig a little bit deeper, right? But this is one of those few things which I just did it. I didn't look into it. I didn't read books in meditation. I read books like Power of Now, which was a huge influence on me in the years ago, and still had changed the direction of my life in some ways, to be honest. And but that's not directly at meditation. I guess it's just the whole idea of the power of now. And but yeah, anyways, having basically saying that I don't know much about other forms of meditation. I haven't done many other forms. I only did one thing, and only this I've been doing for the last few years, right? So having that said, let's get into it. Let's see where to begin. It's definitely one of those things that really caters to the saying, it's simple but not easy. It's very simple. It's probably one of the simplest things as it can get, but it's not easy, right? So this is how it goes. Meditation is just, in my definition, is just the taking a certain amount of time in your day to sit still, stand still, lie down still, whatever position you want, and focusing on one thing, right? Usually that is breath. It has always been breath for me, and that's what I would recommend for anybody who's looking to get started in it, right? So what it would look like is you sit down. Doesn't have to be cross-legged, doesn't have to be any kind of special position. Though people say that you can do it lying down, I have never successfully been able to meditate really well lying down. Not that I get sleepy, because once you get into meditation, you will never fall asleep while meditating. At least in my experience. Even when I'm very tired, I get a different kind of meditation out of it. I'm just tired, and there's a different buzz to it, to the meditation when I'm sitting down, right? In the beginning, yeah, of course, you could fall asleep if you're tired and if you're lying down. Yeah, I'm going back in circles. Point is, it doesn't matter how you do it, but I believe, position-wise, you want to be vertical. Not sure why that is. I guess you guys could look it up, but it has always clearly been a big difference for me. I tried a lot sometimes lying down, but it doesn't work, right? Even if I'm very tired, I make sure I sit down, and who knows, it could go back as far as why humans are upright. One of the main reasons, there's many theories out there that says that the reason we're able to get this kind of experience life the way it is, and channel consciousness through us, is because we are upright. The next being that's going to be even remotely close to us is going to have to be pretty much upright as well. And that kind of makes sense with monkeys, I guess. But the point is, it's pretty human to be straight. And if you're lying down and trying to tune into something that is only available to humans, which you could debate, you could say that no, every animal is somehow in their own meditation. Obviously, you could write poetry with that as well. But what I'm talking about is the act and the activity of bringing that focus in. I haven't seen fish doing that. Anyways, point is, be straight when you're doing it, okay? Preferably just sit down in a chair. That's what I do, right? I don't even sit down in the floor. I used to. It does work really well. I put like a pillow on the wall and then pillow on the floor, right? So then when I sit, pillow on the floor, because then my butt is a little higher than the floor. It just helps. I don't like to be on the same level. It like kind of keeps me I'm not that flexible. Just try it. You'll see what I mean. And also the pillow on the wall helps because just on my back, and my backs have arcs, so you don't want to be like flat lined against the wall. That doesn't help it. So That's one of the best ways too. Those are the two only ways I've ever really done it. Chair or floor with two pillows. All right, so we got that position out of the way. Once you're sitting on there, we'll get more in depth with that, right? Let's go into time. How long should you meditate? I would say in the beginning, minimum of 5 minutes, right? It's much better to do it 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, it's I mean, I'm not gonna say it's not that necessary to go more. Obviously, the more you do, the better it is. Never, like, how do you say this? Once you start meditating, it's never a waste of time. That's for sure, right? That's like actually one of my mantras to help me focus. You know, if there's a lot of stuff going and I know that it's going to be a tough meditation session, that's one of my mantras. I say, like, there's no better way for me to spend the next 10 minutes of my life other than what I'm about to do now. And then I sit down, right? And that's because, you know, we have to understand that, you know, it's a very good use of time. Anyways, time, do it 5 minutes in the beginning if you're just starting out. Then try to move to 10. If you can get to 10, that's it. You don't have to use any more willpower to increase the time. Just use the rest of the willpower to keep it consistent. Just make sure you do it every single day. That's the main thing. I don't know how many times I have tested in and out of this, but it probably is up there with a lot of other stuff, you know, with food, diet, and stuff like that. But every single time before, when I stopped meditating and, you know, 3-4 days went by, I was just, it's as if, like, you know, my whatever I was doing, whatever I'm trying to accomplish in life, it was just like waiting for a fuse to go off, because then there's no backup. It's gonna sound so weird, but basically, if a week goes by and I didn't meditate, any little thing out there, any kind of discrepancy, any little argument, any slight misfortune, a pebble on the road that got my tire to get punctured, whatever it is would blow me up, would take me out of my course completely. That's the protection you get through meditation. It's obviously not one of the only benefits, but just trying to convey how important it is for the consistency. If you think you can't do 10 minutes, but you can do 5, but you can do 5 consistently instead of doing 10 every other day, I would take 5 minutes all day of the week, literally. All right, so we covered, what was the first thing we covered? How to sit down, how long to do it. Okay, so 5 minutes start. Consistency is where you put emphasis on. Once you can do that without any question whatsoever, then increase time to 10 minutes and keep going. Next would be, how do you actually meditate? That is basically like this. I just focus on my breath, right? In the beginning, I used to do a count. So I would do, well, I started with 4 seconds or 5 seconds, but before I stopped counting, the last count I was doing was 8 in, 8 out. And I mean like real 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got it? 7, 8. A little pause and then 1. And I counted that every time. That's the whole time that's what's going. You're going to feel like you're suffocating in the beginning. You're going to feel a weird feeling almost. Sometimes it even comes in your abdomen. It's this yearning to breathe a little faster. But that's the whole idea. You want to teach yourself to breathe smoothly and consistent stream of air, of prana, if you want to call it, right, of life flowing in you, being as present as possible. And by that I mean focusing on, you don't have to be just on the air, but you could focus on anything that is happening pretty much like due to the air. So for example, I could focus when I'm inhaling on how there's a little shiver of cold around my nostrils as the air is coming in. There's a little pause when there's almost nothing, emptiness. And then I can also, while I'm inhaling, I could feel how my stomach is rising and feeling a tightness towards the end. And then when I do the turnaround, when I'm about to exhale, I feel that how there's a pressure of me wanting to let go, all of it a little faster, but I'm kind of holding it and letting go slower, right? So this kind of focus will indirectly make you very present, right? That's literally you're literally focusing on something as the moments of life is coming by. So that's the whole idea, really. That right there, what I just said is exactly what you would be trying to do from day 1 till year 10. That's, in my experience, that's really what the whole thing is. As time passes by, your goal would be to spend more and more time into that focus, into that air. Now, there are some ways to think about it that makes it a lot easier. For example, if you shouldn't think of it as focusing something that we think of when we're working or something, right? It's not something like, it's kind of like tense. It's more like, I wonder what else would come into my mind other than what I'm trying to focus on. It's like you're focusing on the breath and suddenly comes this, like, oh, this guy said this, he should have said that. Okay, great. It's so tempting, so addicting as that thought is going by to entertain it. What would have you sent back? Well, if you said this, what would have been a better response? Or this happened and then the client said this, I could have said this and then maybe got the sale. What would have been alternative responses? These things are going on in our head all the time, right? Like the chatter. And it's addicting. It's created by the mind, and once you start meditating, you realize that there's another. I mean, you don't have to start meditating to realize this. It's just you should know this already, right? Like by now, most people know that life is not just like your flesh and whatever. It's there's an innate watcher, like many people call it, right? There's a presence that watches all of this. You are, and that's you, right? That you are watching the thoughts go by. Normally you think you are the thoughts because you're moving around doing the stuff. But when you meditate, it's a brief moment in your day when you can spend some time with the watcher or as the watcher. Oh, okay, a thought is going. It's actually not directly to you. Take that for what it is. It'll make sense when you start meditating. If I had to add some extra stuff, if anybody has ever experienced hallucinogens, whether it be LSD, DMT, that watcher is much more highlighted. You're able to feel it as if, like, what else can there be? Like, it's very clear to you that we are one. So it obviously it goes as deep as you want the rabbit hole to go. But the point is, it's to zone in and basically have some time with your true self, focusing on breath. I would recommend to start with, until you get good and you can start to deviate and try other forms of meditation. All right, so I hope that was pretty good so far, man. I mean, I wish I did more. I don't know, tried more forms of meditation so I can make this video the justice it deserves. But it's just the fact that it's just one of those things where, as the years go by, your focus on this, on those 10 minutes or 15 minutes you meditate will get more and more sharp. Right? Every time your thought deviates, it's another opportunity to come back to your breath. So be very mindful of how you take that sentence, because a lot of times people think that, fuck, I can't meditate. Every time I'm just like all over the place. That's normal. You've been all over the place your whole life, since you were born, since you were crawling. Now you're trying to tame the mind and have it focus on one thing. So it's going to go everywhere. Take it as a repetition, just like the gym. Every time you deviate out of it, it's another opportunity to do another rep, and you get better like that. And slowly over time, the more the time that you spend in the focus will grow more and more. They'll go whole seconds, like 5, 6, 8 seconds will go by that you were in the zone. Then like maybe 15 to 20 whole seconds will go by, to the point where you're like, holy shit, I was in the zone for a while. And then that thought about that you're in the zone got you out of the zone, and all that stuff. So the point is, that's the game. The game is to stay in the zone as long as you can, but do not force it. Be in it as if what else is there. All right. 15 minutes, Shivka. Thought I can do this in like 8. Lastly, to give some tips, I never leave links in below. I will leave links this time to binaural beats. That's one of the main things that helped me get into meditation in the beginning. It's just if you guys just YouTube it, binaural beats, their holosync technology or something. I don't know much about it again, but it works. Boy, does it work compared to meditating without it. I'll leave my favorite ones down here, but the whole idea is it gives you different frequencies of sound. So let's say your left ear is going like wah 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 wah, and then right ear is going like wah 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 wah, and in the middle is the binaural beat, which is like wow 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 wow, which is created by your mind. It does not exist. The two sides of the ear is getting two different things, and the sum of it or the average of it is created in your mind, and it creates you can zone into that vibration. So if you have good headphones, don't use like just how do you say, like, normal headphones that are outside the ear. Use like things, or use like ones that go inside, because that has some bass. It helps. It's a vibration, and the whole everything is vibration, right? So get some vibration in your ears. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. How you sit, how long to go for, what to focus on when you're doing it. Consistency is the main thing. Don't force yourself. Use binaural beats, and you're set to go. Peace.